We'll start here in a couple minutes. Just waiting on a couple other people to show up. We're still waiting on a couple people. I'll give them a couple more minutes and we'll go ahead and start. If you've not logged on to the chat, which is the link below on the front page of this, or I sent you an email, please do so. It's a way to communicate with me during the session. And also, there was a survey I sent out. Please fill that out if you had a chance to fill it out. That way we can look at the data during the session. We'll start in about 1 or 2 more minutes. All right, let's go ahead and get started here. I know that more people want to join us, but I know we're all got busy times since lunchtime. All right, let me introduce myself. My name is Jason Whited. I'm an instructional technology consultant here in the College of Education at East Carolina University here in Greenville. My job entails doing professional development, offering it online and face-to-face, along with managing our portfolio systems at TPA and all that kind of stuff. First of all, can everybody hear me? Let me ask that too now. I've already introduced myself. If you can, just let me know in the message box that you can hear me. And if you haven't logged into the chat, please log into it. The link is on the front page of this, and I also send it to you into the email. It's called Today's Meet. And then also, please, there's a survey there if you could fill that out real quick too. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. So this is Intro to Google Forms and Sheets. If you want to download the presentation, there's the link for it too. And again, there's that survey I talked about right there. But what is Google Forms and Sheets? I'm going to start off. Google Forms is the survey system that Google offers for. You can use it for define, like I said, survey, do exit in and out exit tickets. You can do it for birthday invitations, all that kind of stuff. It's a pretty simple, quick, easy way to get information from people that are online. You also have Sheets, which is their version of Excel, and it's pretty good. So we're going to go ahead, and this is just an overview with a little bit of tips and tricks with each one of these. But if you really want to get to know these, my advice is to play with them and use them greatly. So first off, let's go with why do you want to use Google Apps? One of the biggest things about, get that out of there, I don't know why it's there, Google Apps is that, this is a great example to use Google Apps. First of all, it's free. It's Microsoft compatible. So if you have a Word document, Excel document, or a spreadsheet or a PowerPoint, you can convert them over to Google Docs and vice versa. You can do the Google Apps back to Microsoft. It has the collaborative aspect of it so that you can, work with whoever you want to, whether it be a fellow teacher in your building, in your school district, state. I know a lot of faculty here at ECU are using Google to collaborate for book chapters, articles, and stuff like that, whether it be on campus or with people they met at conferences and everything like this. But I love this image here because, the nice thing about Google is it's cloud-based, so you have access to it from anywhere. You can get to it from your home computer, your mobile device, your cell phone, or your iPad, as long as you have the app and you have Wi-Fi. And you can get to it from the public library. Most school districts are now Google school districts, so you have access to it there. So it's really nice that it's there. And one of the things is that, when you're doing something here and you stop doing it, it automatically saves it. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But some of these are, like I forgot to save my work, so it automatically saves it, so that's out the door. I finished my assignment, but my computer's home. Again, you can get to it from anywhere. My printer's broken, ran out of paper, but again, because you can get to it from anywhere, you can print to it from anywhere. And I don't have the software. The software is built in. They have their own version of Office, which is built in and easy to use. Oh, they don't have the updated version. Mine's on a USB, do you have a stapler or my partner? You can look through these, my dog ate my assignment. So, these are just some general excuses that people have, and Google is really taking that out of their hands to have these excuses, and you can use it. So why do you want to use Google Sheets, though? And that slide should be down further. But, we talked about the survey aspect in Google Sheets, and this is really the point here I want to make is that Microsoft Word is compatible with Google Docs, PowerPoint is compatible with Google Presentations, and Excel is with Google Spreadsheets. So that it makes it really nice that if you have something in Excel, you can convert it over to spreadsheets, share it with your people, and then if you need to, you can convert it back to Excel and then save it. And same thing with PowerPoint and Word. So one of the other things we'll talk about too is Chrome versus Google. Now, I'm a big Chrome user, and if you're going to use Google extensively, I suggest you use it. One of the nice things about it is that you have all these shortcuts up here, which are nice built in. Like this one will shorten your link to your web page or your Google document, stuff like this. These are really neat. But Google Chrome, what's also nice about it is that wherever you're at, once you log into Google Chrome, you have all your bookmarks, as you can see across here. There's my bookmarks, and you can my folders and everything like this. So you can get to them from anywhere, and your history translates over and everything. So it's really nice for that aspect. But there is a difference. As you can see up here in the top corner, it says Jason. That means I'm signed into Google Chrome. This means this is my personal Gmail. This means I'm signed into Google Drive and stuff. And one of the other things I want to show you before we get into forms and stuff is that one of the nice things about why you'd want to use Google is space. As you can see, I use 4 gigs of 17 gigs by here. But if you look at anything that is Google, they don't have any file size. But if I go to my drive, where everything's stored. I want to get down by these folders. Once I do stuff that is not Google, let me find something here. Let me just search for here for PDFs. You can see it takes up space, 570, 367, 205. So once you convert something over to a Google Doc, full sheets, or presentation, you take no space. So what I like to do is I might convert a PowerPoint over into its format. And then I have these and they don't take any space. So you have access and I can share them with whoever I want to. And it's really nice. But that's what's the nice thing about it. And you get pretty good big space. And like I said, if you look at it here, my drive is 3 gigs and my Gmail is 63. And I have Google Photos. So I still have plenty of space there as long as I'm using these formats. So what I sometimes do is I might save my Google format over into change the PowerPoint over to Google format and save the PowerPoint onto my desktop so that I always have access to from there form any changes. I still have the original. So it's just something to keep in mind when you want to say, why do I want to use Google? Well, first of all, you have the unlimited storage, the collaborative, and it's just the ease of use. And that's the one thing nice about Google is it's almost always looks a lot like its Office counterpart. So they've made it intuitive, very easy to adjust from one to the other. Some parts might a little more finicky to work with, but like I said, just go ahead and practice and try playing with it. So why would you want to use Google Forms? It's a web-based survey application as part of the Google Drive Office Suite. And it lends itself to multiple authors working on real time in this one survey. So, it's nice that you can sit there and create a survey if you're doing some research and you want to say, okay, here's my couple questions, here's my couple questions, or you've created your survey and you want to have somebody edit it, you can share it with them. They can go through and say, oh, look through and say, you spelled principal the wrong way, it should be principal instead of principal. So, you can do that and it makes it really nice for that aspect. You can share it, but then you can collect that data there and it's very easy to share the data with other people. I know that we are trying to plan an ed camp here and we've sent out a survey and stuff like this. And by doing it through Google, I can share the form and then the data with my coworkers and who are help planning it, and they can see who's enrolled in it, any questions they have and stuff like that. So it makes it really nice to be able to do that. Whereas you used to be able not to do it with Microsoft Office products. You can do now, but now you have to have a subscription to 365. And I'm not played with it much. It is on my to-do list for this summer because we're actually getting access here at ECU for it. But I also know that this is really big because it's free. So let's go ahead and create. It's really easy to create a form. So go back over here to my drive and just click New. And go down here to More and Google Forms. And now I have one and I can title it. Now let's do this. Let's call this one I'll try that over again, sorry. How this is noon example. And I have my questions here, but you also can go and do it other ways and see it's automatically saved. Is go to Forms Homes, which is nice too, because this will give you kind of some templates that you can use. And you can say, oh, wait a minute, I really want to do a party invitation, t-shirt, sign up. And these are ones that people have invented or they've done. And you can look at all these different forms that if you really want to find something a little more colorful, you can play with it, insert images, but you have that option. And again, see, there's my new example. So it's automatically saved it in there. So I can click on that to do it. And then you can also go from there. Now it's not, I know I could talk up here, Google Apps. They don't have it up here yet. I'm hoping soon that they will get it up there, but you can click from here and get to it. But that's really a long way to get it when you can just do the new here. Or you can type up here, tab up here, and I can go Google Forms. And then I'm right there. Google Forms. And like I said, it's nice though because you see, first of all, it takes all your forms and puts them in one area if you want to look through them, but also gives you these options for different templates that you might want to use. Now I'm checking my chat at the Forms Sheets 1200, the 12 o'clock. So if you've signed into the sheets, you got any questions, that's the best way to ask. So I'm watching those two while I'm doing this. So if you have any questions, just shoot one to me and I'll try to answer to the best of my ability. Okay, so like I said, And right here, like I said, I talked about it, and you can download this presentation. I gave you the link to that, so feel free to. Now, this is the new format. They just actually went and made the new format permanent like a couple weeks ago. And it's a nice format. It's pretty simple. So you have your questions and you do your responses. And then the other form is a little more clunkier, but this makes it a lot easier. And you can look at your different types here. You have a multiple choice, checkboxes, drop downs, linear scale, grid choice, date, time, short answer, paragraph. And when I asked you that pre-survey, I was to give you an example, look at all the different question formats. And if you want to add a question, you go here, add a question, title, description, add an image, add a video, and add a section. Now, add a video, though, when you add a video, it'll do video, but it has to be a YouTube video. There are some workarounds, but it's best if you're using a YouTube video. And you saw me put in the title here when I did a noon session. So real simple, you can click on that, and then I can go back over here. And when I typed it up there, you see it popped in right there. And if I want to, I can just change it real quick. Example. And it's updated both spots. So it's nice to see that it does that. So. And now I showed you the taskbar, which is if you add a question, title and description, an image, a video, and a section. We went over that, where that is. So we did the question types too. Like I said, you have some short answer, which is like, what's your name? Paragraph, please tell me what your favorite thing about ECU is. Multiple choice, do you like baseball, football, basketball? Checkbox. Sorry about that. Checkbox would be, check all that apply above, a drop-down menu, and then the rest, date and time, linear scale, multi-grid. And that's one of the things I liked about this form example that I gave you. Here's my questions, and I've had 7 responses. So, here's my favorite baseball team was my short answer. Favorite memory associated with ECU, long answer text. Favorite pizza topping. Favorite Star Wars character. I'm a big Star Wars fan. My son actually got me a Chewbacca miniature for Christmas this year. Very proud of that. Favorite music genre. So, which one do you like? Rate the weather today. Not too bad. It's really kind of cold. Rate these topics. And then today's date and time. So, it can be a pretty over-encompassing survey you can create to collect data from. And it can be as simple as, what's your shirt size? What color do you like? So you do have some advanced question options when you get into it. So if I want to go here to my new example, and I'm going to let's do multiple. Let's go back to this one here. So if I want to say my favorite toppings, go down here, and I can shuffle the options order. So that means we change to be separate. So if you're having some people do it, they can shuffle it. So that what it looks like what you got will be mushroom, sardines, cheese, or add other options. So we there. So it's nice for that. You can make it required or not required here. And you can delete it and copy it, duplicate it. And if you look at them, they all have some different. So if I want to go here, this is the shuffle order. I'll go down here. You just do hint text. So it really depends on what you want to do, what the topic is, what the options. Like again, just go and play with it. Limit 1 response per column. Shuffle the order. Include time, include year. What time is it? And then include time and duration. Hint text. So it's just a nice way that you go through. I want to be a little more, craft this a little bit differently, so everyone's different. So copy and pasting. This one's really nice. And that if you have a list of, so you're in a meeting and everything, it's a nice little ability. So if I go back over here to my recent, I guess it's nice that I can show down and do type documents, search. Here's my forms copy example. So I can just copy these. And then I can say it's going to be a checkbox question and paste. So if you're in a meeting or whatever, you have all these different topics, you don't have to hand type all these in. I like that. That's something they've just done recently, and I like that the option is that, especially if you're taking notes and you want to do a survey. And this was from a meeting I was at. We're talking about collaboration, media sites, different things like this, and I can create a quick survey with it. So just kind of highlight the topics from the meeting. You can change the themes. So if you don't like the color, you want to do anything like that. So it's pretty easy. So back to my new example. And it's up here, color palette, preview, add-ons. We'll talk about settings. So I want to do my color palette and say, well, this is ECU. So do purple and green or whatever I want to do. But let's go back to the purple. And I'm not the best at colors. And you can actually insert an image there if you want to. So if I want to find something, say, okay, let's just put that one in there, select. Now I have an image across there. You go back and say, I want to choose the palette color to be purple again. I can do that. So if you have your images, and you can find them from your computer and search for them. So if I want to do insert an image, I can do from different ones here, or upload a photo or your albums and stuff like that. So you have different ones. My remarks. If I want to do this one of my kids, select. And there's the picture of my kids in the background when we're at the beach. So it's a great way to kind of personalize your surveys. So now you get your settings and confirmation pages. So I'll go back over to my example here. I'm going to go here to settings, and I say can only submit one login. So they'd have to require a login to do it. Email or something like that. They can edit the responses, see a summary of the responses, submit another, show progress bar if you've got a lot of questions, and shuffle the questions around, which means when I showed you within the first part, you could shuffle the, multiple choice answers around, but this way you shuffle the questions. So the first one might be, what is the time and the date? And then the last question would be, what's your pizza, or be in the middle and stuff like that. So these are just, edit the responses, check boxes. So now add-ons. One of the nice things that Google's done is it's allowed third-party vendors to create stuff to make it easier. Microsoft, you're dependent on whatever Microsoft gives you. Well, Google said, you know what, there's a lot of smart people out there that are doing stuff that I'm just going to let them create it. And add-ons are really nice. And there's some really nice ones out there that you can play with. So I go up here to my add-ons, and let's say I have simply send. I can configure it. And it would say, send out to whoever when this is filled out. So subject, birthday, RSVP, that kind of stuff. But you can go to the add-ons here, add-ons, and this will give you all. If you want to say, no, I just want education add-ons. So there's GMath, which is really popular, and almost all of them, Sheets, Page Mover, Form Rangers, Choice Elimination. If you want to do business tools, Survey Monkey, different tools like that. So you have different ones here, utilities. And again, play with them to see how you want to use them and everything. But it's in Google Forms, Sheets, Docs, and Presentations. The add-ons are there. So it's, like I said, it's maybe not presentation, but the rest of them, it's nice that you can add different things to say, hey, I want to add on this ability to it. And they're always updating them, taking them away, updating them. Making sure they're safe. I showed you where to find the add-ons. In these different options. So now that you got your survey, you want to share it or send it or collaborate. And Google's made this really easy. So when I'm back up here, see where it says send? So I have options of send me an email. So I could put in a specific email. So if I want to send to coworker Holly, I would send her this email on subject, like test message. And then include form in an email. And then I would send it to her. She'd get an email. You have the other option of doing the URL, which is if you send it out via email, like I've done to you guys, then they have the link, and you can, I like it, they have the built-in shortener, and then you just copy it and then you post it in an email, or I post it on the front page of this. So you have that option. And the other option is, if you really get it, is you can embed the code into your Google Sites page. So if you have your students and you're using Google Sites, they can use the embedded code once they've done part of it. They can do the survey, so you can embed it in there. So any questions? Okay, let's keep moving on then. Now, collaborating too. You go back here to our sharing. You can add collaborators. So you just click on here, and if I want to say, okay, I'm going to add only access on the owner, but I can invite people. So again, if I wanted to invite Holly, I can invite her, and then she could look at the survey and edit it and everything like this. Or I can giving her editing rights to it. This is a little different than what would happen if you are sharing Google Doc and stuff like this. There's less options, but you also have the link up here too that you can copy, and you can send it to, I could send it to Holly, or I could send it out to a group of people, like a group email. If I want to say, all of you, okay, here, add a question to my survey, and then you could do it by sending out the link. So how do you build it? Okay, so now the nice thing though with the update to Google is, before it used to be just the forms was one thing, the data was in sheets. There was no in between. Well, now with the new Google Forms is they've made it possible. You can still see responses, download them, delete them all, but now you get to see them firsthand. And I'm going to go back to our survey here. So as you see, here's all my questions that I've asked you before. Now I can see responses. And I can see, okay, favorite baseball teams: Red Red Sox, Durham Bulls, none, New York. Favorite memory associated with ECU, graduate, I have none, Step Show. And you see favorite pizza and topping. So it gives you a little graph here of like what is cheese and mushroom. Nobody likes sardines, huh? Favorite Star Wars character. So what's our favorite here? Not sure, not a Star Wars fan. Okay. Oh. Or Yoda, So we have all these different things. Favorite music genres, you have these different charts. Rate your weather today, rate your topics. This is really quick down and dirty. We get to see it. So once you do your survey, you can actually then, if you still, and then you can turn off responses here too, but I can say, okay, if I want to, I could take a screenshot of this, insert it into a quick report or something. You also get the option of clicking individual, so I can see who did, this person did Red Sox, their mushrooms, their weather today, no opinion on Jar Jar Binks, that kind of thing. So I can see individuals. So like if you, one of the things I'll use individual for is to see if names, for somebody, because you have to do a survey at the end of this to make sure that you've attended it, answer some questions about the session today. And then once you get 10 sessions, then you can get a CEU. And I'll talk about that at the end. But I might go through, if I get an email from somebody saying, hey, I've been to 10 sessions, and I can go through by individual response and see what 10 sessions they've been to. But it's really nice what it's done like that. And I've checked out the responses, easy transition. The quick view of the data. So now you can see, this is coming from our Ed Camp of, 50% of people are willing to lead a session. And I'll talk about our Ed Camp a little bit and too at the end of the session too. But like I said, it's real quick that I could do a screenshot, insert it in here, and I can talk about it. So I do a screenshot, show the image into a report or something like that. So it's a nice way to get kind of a quick pie chart, table chart, whatever of what's going on, bar graph. And I talked about seeing individual responses and then response menus. So when we go back over here, you have this option of create a spreadsheet. You also get this option of saying, get email notification, select response destinations. You might want to use this as if you want everything to go to one spreadsheet or to a different spreadsheet. You can download it all as a CSV, which means it can be opened up in Microsoft Office. Excel and stuff like this because it's that kind of generic format, or you can print all your responses. You really don't, you might only want to unlink a form, and it's not highlighted here, but as if you want to create one survey and then you unlink it and then you set a new destination. So if you have the same survey going for first period, second period, third period, after each period, you'd want to unlink it. It's one way to do it, or you can just copy and create 7 different surveys and have the students respond on that. You just play around with it, see what you like. So, but now we're going to go ahead and create a spreadsheet for this. Create a new spreadsheet. And now it automatically opens up. So you see all the same information we had here. There's some blanks, cheese, mushrooms, Yoda, Darth Vader, anything's in the 80s, like that. Disagree, strongly agree. So it's kind of just, there it is in the spreadsheet, what you can do with it. So you have this form, which is, you know, kind of prettier version with your responses. Summary, sorry. You know, to that, or you can get the hard data if you really want to, you know, say, I wanted to filter by sort A to Z so that I have all the Chewbacca fans together, all the Yoda fans together, so that you can see that option there too. So that's what that's nice. And say that, okay, I have these 2 people because maybe you want to contact those 2 people or something. Over there's our response in our sheets. And now let's go back over and let's look at our response in sheets. And it looks like Microsoft Excel. I mean, it basically looks the same. And that's one of the nice things that Google's done, is said, you know, why recreate the wheel and make it totally different so people feel uncomfortable? It's really intuitive. So if I'm pretty used to using Microsoft Excel, I'm going to come here and use it. Like I said, it's the, you know, this is the universal sign for filter. So I knew just go click there, but you know, they're not saying sort A to Z or convert to links. You know, these are all just simple technology. You know, insert 1 column to the left, hide column. You know, those are the same things that are basically the same commands in Microsoft Excel. So it's really it's nice to do that. So and you see the form. You can edit form, send form, go to the live form up here. So we could go back to the live form. And this is actually if I wanted to fill it out again and add a response to it. But it's nice that how they tie back and forth to each other. You can actually create a form from here too if you're just doing embed the form in a web page, show summary of responses. So if I want to click on that, here's a nice summary of my responses in its own individual page. Number of daily responses. So again, here's the same information, and it's nice that you have that option of doing that right from your Google Sheets. I'm going to close some of these down here a little bit. But like you said, it has columns, it has rows. There, you know, it looks just like it does in like I said earlier, Microsoft Excel. You can cut and paste within them, you know, insert one below or above, so you can, you know, change it. So like this, like I said, if you look at it, it's pretty much the same. Wrap text, this is a nice little trick to know if you're doing it. So if I want to go here and I'll look at, these answers aren't really that long, but if it was, my column was, let's go, or that way you could actually then go here and text wrap, and then it makes it wraps it. So then now once I make it longer, so it's nice to have that option of text wrapping it. So you can click the whole thing, add the text. So it's just nice little tricks that they have in there. Sorting, you know, we have the option, like I showed you, the quick of the sorting, you know, filtering first of all by what we did here. If we want to do here, you can filter by, sort by, right clicking it, sort to A to Z. So now we have cheese, you know, most of it's cheese and mushroom. No sardine lovers, wow. But you can also go up here, go to your data, and you can sort by column D, A to Z, sort to range, name range, protected, split cells, filter, filter views, and pivot table and validation. So if you're really into the looking at diagnostics, looking at the you're really taking the data and you want to massage and stuff like this, it gives you different ways to massage it there in your data. Your format, it's just simple texting, text, bold, italic, it also will insert, if you want to insert another comment or note or function, stuff like this, or drawing. You have those options. It's, when you look at it, it's pretty self-explanatory. Again, if you got any questions, make sure that you get, before I get too far ahead. So now I can, sort by values here when I want to filter. Look here, and I want, oops. Data, and I want to filter. And then I want blanks, cheese, and mushrooms. So I can, once you put the filter in here, I have the drop-down menu, I can filter by condition, by values. So, you can play with it around there. So, and again, this is just an overview. I highly suggest to play with it. There's tons of information online. A lot of people talk about it. So feel free to, go out and look for it. So I just kind of give you an introduction example. And you all should have my email. And if you have any questions, please shoot me an email and I can try to answer them later if we don't get to it today. So adding, formatting, naming individual sheets, it's real easy to do. So I can go down here. Sorry, wrong one. Close that one. And see out there, and I can just add another sheet. Click there. Now I've got sheet 2. And I can want to rename this. I can click it and I want to say rename to noon. So I'm sure these are other, because I sent out for my 3:30 and my 9 o'clock sessions tonight, that those people are at those sessions, but pretty easy to rename it. And if I want to move it, I can move it there and switch it around. Just drag and drop it. Now, analyzing data. This is something else that you can do too. So I'm going to highlight here and click on my Explore. And then it gives me some different options. So if I want to do a pie chart of that, or if I wanted to do bar graph. So I have the option of by clicking on that to do it. So it's a real nice way. Then I can one of the nice things too is you can insert the chart. So I can insert it. If I want to put it in my form here for some reason, do quick edit mode, which you want to change it, change the title or something like that, you can do that. So advanced edit. So I can change stuff and play around with it, the font, the colors, everything like that. So, or just delete it. But if I wanted to look at, my music there, you see here's my Explore right there. Explore. Right. And there's my music. So it's really nice that you can again just look at it and individually graph. And here's to actually explore the whole thing, so. But it's nice that they built that in there. Now add-ons. This is a nice one that you can do to look and play around with these. So if I'm going back to my forms here, I'm gonna click on my add-ons. It's the same way. I want to get add-ons. Close that out of there. Flubberoo, math, and different things like this. Remove duplicates, power tools. These are simple and again that you can play with. And like I said, I want to do education. As you can see, there are much more add-ons for this than there were for the forms one. But again, these are most are free, but you might have an occasional one where they give you like 30 days free service, and then you have to start paying. And you have to look around and play with it, see if that's what you want to do. But there's a pretty good chance that you can find one that's free. But when I'm looking at add-ons, some that I know is like Autocrat will give back replies. So when they submit something, you do replies to that. Flubberoo, play with that one online. A rubric is nice if you want to build a rubric from your roster and everything. A random generator, if you want to, generate some different numbers. Scheduled generator, same thing. Split names, statistics, Twitter archive. So I would look around and play with these. And if you find one that's great, please let me know, because I just go on, what I read about, what I hear about when I go to a conference and stuff like that. So sharing this, it's not too tough to share. And again, just like the other way around is, you can click share up here. And this is pretty much like Google presentations and Google Docs and how you share it. You do an email. So if I want to go to my coworker, Holly, now she can edit the sheet. So I can share the information with her. She can edit, cancel it. I can click advanced, which means then I want to say, okay, I can say link to share only by collaborators. And I can do, can edit. Like in these email addresses can edit and stuff like this. So, and then if I'm here and I have a multiple person, I can give them their access to it. So I say they can only view it, or they can only comment or edit. A view is just, just to see it and edit. A comment is nice. They can insert a comment in there, say, hey, you misspelled a word here or something. So. And this is what I was saying about wanting to start over. So if I want to, for this here, if I wanted to go over questions, I can then, if I wanted to, unlink the form. So that means that anybody in the later session, when they did anything, they would create a new form, select the response destination, which I could send it to a different spreadsheet. And then again, to delete all responses, which means we clear it all out, which I don't want to do, and select, get email notifications for new responses. So if you saw my email, every time when somebody filled it out, I got an email saying that somebody filled it out. So it's nice that you can say, okay, who's been doing it and stuff. So saving it. Now, this is what's saving it. And I showed you earlier that when you do anything with the forms, it says all changes saved in the drive. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to sort A to Z again, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. And you can see up there it says all changes saved in the drive. So if I go over here and let's go back to our pizza topping again. See, it said saving. So just make sure that you know then all saved. So that's one of the nicest things about Google is because it's cloud-based, it automatically saves everything. We've all been there with a Microsoft PowerPoint, Word document, Excel, and you type and you're really into what you're doing. All of a sudden, your computer dies, you forget what time it is, and you don't save anything. You have to redo everything. This is nice in that aspect, is that it saves everything automatically. You also can, when we talked about, you can share it here, and this is a different area where if you want to share, you click here. Same thing as clicking the button up there. You click your share options, show that's there. But you can then make a copy, which you might want to do if this is the original, and then you want to share the copy with other people so they can edit and everything. You want to keep your original still there, so that you can also, it's really easy, like make a copy and then click OK. And now I have a copy of my example survey. So if I wanted to, let you edit it and change it and do everything you can, and you have your original over here. Or you might keep, like I said, original here, and then share this out with people and say, hey, do what you want to with this. Look at the data. But the other thing too with it is you have the option too of downloading it. And then you can download it as Microsoft Excel, which means it opens up right away as Excel, PDF, or an open document format, or the combined CVS or tablet TSV. So these are really some pretty generic ways. So that's what's really nice is, and actually, take out a trash. I don't want to move that to trash. Give me 1 second here. So what I just did now was I want to go back over to my recents here and my things. And you see this is the class Excel. And so basically this is everybody's registered for the class and their emails. Now this is in an Excel format. Let's go. And what's nice about this though is that it can do basic editing in Microsoft Excel, and I can save as a Google Sheet, and that's how I convert it over. But once it's in its Excel format, here I can do basic editing. I can change text. I can edit it, insert, row, column, and basic, and it still stays in its Excel format. And that's recent that they allow you to do that. So you can actually do some basic editing from an Excel format within here. So Google will allow you to do basic Word document, Microsoft Office Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, and Microsoft Excel, basic functions in there. But if you want to collaborate with them, you have to convert it over to the Google format. That's the only way to collaborate. But if you want to pull a document up, change something, save it again, you can do the basic Microsoft functions within the Google Drive. Any questions so far? All right. So again, the part questions. The one suggestion I have for you is to play with it, look at it, definitely look at the add-ons, see how you can use it in your class. There's plenty of examples online how to do it and everything. So please look at it. And you've got my email. If you said, hey, Jason, you know how to do this? And if I can't find it, I'll find somebody that can. But now I want to talk about a couple other things. Is we're having an Ed camp on April 23rd from 9 to 3 here in the College of Education. And if you download the presentation, you can see there's how you register for it. If you know, an Ed camp is an uncamp, which basically means we're going to come here. We have like 30-some people already signed up for it. We're going to come over and talk about educational technology during that day. At the end of the day, if you stay for all sessions and lunch, you do get free breakfast and lunch and a snack. We've got some financing for that. So you come and get free food, which is always good. But you get 0.6 CEUs. So if you come attend the Ed camp and you do 4 of our sessions, you can get a CEU. Now I know like Pitt County and some of the other districts is if you get like 0.6 CEUs and you can get another 0.4 for implementation. If you can say, look, I've done these sessions and I implemented them in my classroom, I've been told that they can do that. So if you get when you're ready to get your CEUs, whether they be 1 or 0.5 or 0.1 or whatever you want to do, just let me know and we'll make sure that if you've been to 5 sessions, we'll check that off, and then we'll have the Office of Teacher Education send out a technology CEU. I must say that it's a technology CEU and not like a literacy or CEU. It's for technology. The other thing I want to talk about too, though, that's coming out of this is the East North Carolina Instructional Technology Collaborative. And you can see this at our website here. And what this is that we're trying to build a program here at ECU, in the College of Education, to put together like-minded individuals who like technology and to offer PD. So there might be somebody in Pitt County who's really good at Nearpod and really wants to do PD for that. Or there might be somebody in Carteret County or Craven County. And so those people can get together, and what we're trying to do is find those experts out in the field to offer PD to you, because I sit here in a college and I can offer you all this PD, but it might not be as meaningful to you as somebody that's an expert in the classroom teaching it and using it. So our kickoff from the Ed camp will be kicking off this, where we're trying to recruit people to do PD. You'll still register the same way you do for our sessions here. They'll still be worth CEUs. If you offer PD, we're trying to see that should be offered as a CEU too, but you can go to your resume, your annual reviews. What are you doing outside of school? You can say I'm offering PD sessions on Nearpod or Google Documents or something like this. But we're looking for people out there who are interested in doing it. So please follow our blog. If you can come to Ed Camp, come there. But then we are looking for collaborators for the P3 partners to offer PD. So think about it. Now, thanks for attending the session. I sent you this survey at the end of the email too. So go ahead, fill that out. That way is my attendance that you've shown up, and there's some questions. Make sure that you've paid somewhat attention to what's going on here. And then I'd like to say thank you. Again, my name is Jason White. I'm a instructional technology consultant at College of Education, East Carolina University. There's my email. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, LinkedIn, or Google+. So I will hang out for the next 10 minutes or so. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask them to me. You can shoot me an email. But I hope you learned something. Fill out the survey, because we also want to know what other stuff that you might be interested in talking about. And we might be able to find, hopefully with our idea of this collaborative, that we'll be able to find some people that might be able to talk a little more in depth of stuff. But also look at our other offerings. I know that I do the Google social media, Flip the Classroom, but Holly here, whose name has come up, she does teaching online and stuff like this. Rubric, she's really good at that. We also have Dan Zuberbier over in the Teaching Resource Center at Joiner Library, who teaches some workshops. So the nice thing though is if you attend any of our 10 sessions, and if you do like 3 Dan's, 4 Holly's, and 3 of mine, you'll get a CEU. It doesn't just always have to be my sessions. So we're trying to make sure that you guys can get your CEUs, and it's free right now. So that's the other thing. So think about EdCamp, think about registering for it. It's free, free food, 0.6 CEUs. Think about maybe the collaborative if you're really interested in technology. And then if you got any questions, get a hold of me. And EdCamp does not have to be, is not for people that are experts. It's for people all who might have an interest in it. So don't think, hey, I don't really know a lot, but you might want to come in and, we might talk about Google. We might talk about social media. We might talk about teaching online. We might talk about different iPad apps and stuff like this. It's a free fall, free form, free flowing conference. There'll be 4 sessions, 2 in the morning lunch and 2, and then 1 special session at lunch, and then 2 after that. So I can't tell you what we're going to talk about, but please consider registering for it and come. So again, if you've got any questions, you can use the Today's Meet to ask me a question there. You can shoot me an email. And yes, Stephen, yes. That is our idea, is we'll be able to get CEUs for taking Instructional Technology Collaborative courses. Yes, that is it. It'll come under the umbrella of being offered by the COE at ECU, but we will have guest lecturers, but we'll still, so next year we might have, some different people that are media coordinators teaching some sessions, which they feel, and yes, if you attend one of those sessions, you'll be able to get a CEU for it. That is our whole idea, to find other experts on educational technology to teach sessions, to give you guys a wide variety of options to get your CEUs. Like I said, come to the EdCamp, and hopefully if you find something you want to talk about, and we're looking at maybe expanding to other topics from beyond technology, but that's down the road. But we're trying to hopefully become your one-stop shop for educational technology. All right. If there's no questions, like I said, I will hang out till 1 o'clock for the next 8 minutes. Shoot me an email if you want to get a hold of me that way, or shoot me Today's Meet question, the live chat, and I will answer it. Oops. And that is me. All right, since there's no questions, I'm going to go ahead and shut this session down. I hope you all enjoyed it and have a good day.